Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast for those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man, how would it go? We talking one of a kind, collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening, but damn it, man, don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made, but I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Hey, welcome back, Toy Fam. You have made it to another episode of the Figure Booth. I am your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First.
Hey guys, this is Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate, and you've reached episode 48, which we're calling Pulse Check.
Quick little, are we still alive? Are you guys still there? Hello?
Hey, we're
Mic
here.
check? All right.
Pulse check, mic check, figure check,
Wallet check, pocket check, check
wallet
everything.
check, budget check.
Budget check. How are we doing with that budget list? Are you staying within your budget? Did the budget go out the window?
I would say I'm probably being a bit better about the budget this year.
Yeah,
I'm being
for sure.
more strict with myself, but now
Okay.
I'm getting in situations where stuff's coming out, and I told myself earlier on in the year, like, no, I'm not going to do that. And then now it's coming out, and I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish I would have done that.
Yeah.
You know, so
That FOMO starts hitting you, huh?
Yeah, it's tough life, man. It's tough life. How about yourself? How you doing with the budget?
I feel like these first 5 months have been pretty easy as far as like I just stick with what I pre-ordered a couple months ago, kind of out of sight, out of mind. And I haven't really been so focused on what is the hype build around which figure is current or what company is releasing what. And I think a lot of that, like with some of these lives or some of the fan Fridays or Monday Marvels, or where each brand does their own take on, hey, this is what we're releasing, and they throw them up for pre-orders. That's where a lot of times the budget just goes out of whack, or they're introducing army builders, So because I think I've been kind of away for a good minute, it's really let my budget breathe. So now that the pre-orders have kicked in and I've gotten my pile of loots from BBTS, and I see the big box, and I was like, oh man, this is good, like, yes, it's coming in. What else is next? Now it's starting to pull me back in. So I think that budget's about to get tested.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely for me, it makes me appreciate what I get a little bit more than I have been restricting, because it's not just this onslaught of figures all the time, like, oh, new figure.
Yeah.
I mean, you were just talking earlier, like sometimes you get so many figures in that you don't even have a chance to like open them and enjoy them before you're moving on to the next thing,
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like really take my time and like, okay, let me appreciate this figure. Let me make sure I'm opening stuff that's coming in. I'm not just got unopened stuff, And
yep, because it starts to pile up, and then like I have 2 boxes full of stuff that I haven't opened yet, and I get to the point where I'm like, did this come out? And sometimes with these pre-orders, you pre-ordered something, and maybe it was a year ago it was announced, and did it come out in 2021, 2022? Sometimes now, like when I get my 89 Batman, I'm gonna be like, am I still in mess? Like, what year is it? It may be 2050 when I get my 89 Batman. So sometimes that's what kind of throws me off. And I think when us collectors start to make our top 10 list, or we figure out, hey, I want to make my top 10 list based on when I acquire it or when I open it. There's a couple of figures where I just got this, but then when I look, I'm like, oh man, this figure came out last year, but I just ended up getting it. Maybe because I waited, or they had a sale, and that's really kind of my approach now to collecting is it really a character that I really want? I don't care about the price. I'll pay retail. Or is it something I can sit on, and it's not pursued by every other collector, so it's not a hot commodity. I can wait, and hopefully I'll grab it when it's on sale. And lately I've been benefiting from that, where I'm like, oh, I'm not necessarily picking up what everyone's picking up, but that's okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way. The competition kind of has is going away a bit for me, or the FOMO maybe, which I've always trying to be strict with myself about. Hey, I don't need to get in a competition. Like we're not at a race here, but it is kind of nice not really worrying about it. Like, if I get that, cool. If I don't, that's fine too. But let me focus on stuff that like really genuinely interests me now, and not just so much about the rat race of going out and
that's
finding
really hard
figures.
too.
It is. It's real tough because you get so used to a certain way of collecting, and when you try to get away from that, there's these old habits that pop up like, oh, I can just get it now, but I'm kind of enjoying slowing down a bit. I feel like it's letting me appreciate things a bit more. Obviously, there's the occasional thing that comes out. It's like, I really wish I would have pre-ordered that. Like right now, I'm going through it with the Batman Two-Face pack.
And I thought for sure you would have gotten that.
I know.
Come on, your bread and butter, Batman.
Yeah, I know. I put it in my story that I was looking for it, and people are like, what? Like, how did you not pre-order this? It's just like, well, at the time, I think I had just maybe locked in a Mythic Legions pre-order, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I have so many Mezco Batman that I don't need another one. But now that I see it in hands, like that Two-Face looks really great. So maybe my wait list will convert. I'm not going to pay over retail for it. So whatever, if it works out, it works out. Awesome. I'll sell something for it. But I'm not crying too much. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that mid-May, we're almost to June now. So it's already been 6 months for 2022. I really can't believe it because it just seems like the year has been racing by. There has been a lot of releases. So we figured, hey, let's talk about, we've done this before. Let's talk about our mid-year, maybe top 10 or top 5 or just some brands that we like. And these might not all be from, this year. But we just opened them up this year. So we're just starting to appreciate them now.
For sure.
I think we tried really hard to keep them within this year, within 2022, but there might be one or two that throw in there. They're like,
it's a blur.
2022 or 2021. Yeah, because it's been sitting in my closet for 3 months. I finally got a chance to open it, so. But yeah, I don't know how you want to start this. You want to start with maybe like favorite companies first, or you just want to go straight into like maybe your bottom most favorite figure?
I can do like my top 5 right now that I have been just like, they've kept my attention the whole time for a fig. And the 5th one, it's like borderline because he came out end of last year. But by the time I got him and opened him up, it was early this year. I got him in January. And it's one figure that you had. I think you got it last year, and it was from Mythic Legions, Krampus. That was really just, man, it was the introductory to like that whole line. And Krampus was just it freaking blew my socks off. The sculpt, the paint, the packaging, everything. I was like, man, this is gonna be scary because I might have to go like hard on this line. Luckily, I was just like, no, let me just stick to this and then like hold back and see what else happens. But Krampus is my number 5.
Awesome. Krampus is a great selection. I'm happy to hear that it entered into your top 5. I know you've been kind of like, maybe Mythic Legions, maybe not. I'm probably not going to go as heavy as Nate, but that's really awesome, man.
And that introduction, like that got me. I ended up picking up the Templar and then the Black Knight when they did their sale, and I did want to pick up more, but I was like, no, let me hold off. There's other stuff that's in the horizon, but at least I got my toes wet.
Yeah, Four Horsemen just released their new schedule, and it looks like at least starting in June and for probably the rest of the year, you're just going to see like wave after wave released. So you're going to see a lot of people getting new Mythic Legions in hand as the year goes on. The next one that's coming is the Lithia wave. And you got the Deluxe Legion builders. Then they have their game figures, and then you've got some more coming. The Red Krampus, and then Poxus, and then Cosmic. I mean, it's just going to be like wave after wave after wave of Legions. So you're going to be seeing them, I think, a lot over over the second half of the year.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me, and this one's really like a personal selection. And I think it's just really the experience that I had with this release. It's the first time I've had a figure that was not released to the general public that I got a chance to get my hands on, and it was getting the chance to work with Mezco. But the the Murder Hornet.
Yep. Oh,
I really like how this figure came out. Yeah, it's one of those, like, I think a lot of people were thinking, you know, is the Murder Hornet going to be like the comic? Because in the comic, he's always had this unique helmet style, you know, and I wasn't sure, like, is Mezco going to adhere to that, or are they just going to use what they have, which is this old helmet style for the rest of the Krieg? And not only did they add in the unique helmet, but they added in the wings, and they added in the energy shield, and just the yellow accessories, and just really made it super unique. And then being able to get that really from Mezco, you know, kind of for free, I guess. I mean, I don't want to brag, but being able to work with them and having them send me all that is just kind of like a surreal experience. It was just like, wow, like you see this from other people. Yeah. And then the fact that I was able to do that myself, you know, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and
hopefully that's the first of many to come, you know, who's next?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Keep coming, Mexico, come back.
Yeah.
And then let's open up the doors.
I hope they give me another chance. You know, sometimes I look back at those photos and I'm like, maybe I could have pushed the envelope a little bit more here, but it was just, it was a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but you know, I was happy with it. I'm obviously very honored for the opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
The Murder Hornet's just going to be one of those figures that it always kind of reminds me of that. So that's my number 5.
That's cool.
Oh, whoops. Didn't do that again.
So my number 4 is Storm Collectibles Zangief.
Oh, big boy.
Yeah. Only and several reasons. I mean, one, Storm has always been like part of my collection where I'm always happy with the Storm collectible. The scale doesn't really throw me off because they do a lot of characters that I'm really familiar with, and it's nostalgic for me. But Zangief was one that I slept on, missed the first release of him, and then he skyrocketed in price. So I was super happy when they re-released them in a different, you know, what I think it's like version 2 of Street Fighter or Super Street Fighter, whatever it is. I'm like, I just need a Zangief for my collection because he's so massive, and he comes with a couple different expressions. It's just, he's such a fun figure that I was pumped. I was super excited to have him, and I couldn't wait to open him. So the minute he came in, I was like, yep, gonna open him up, and he's up there. He's my number 4.
Yeah, I remember originally seeing the original Zangief and just being super impressed. I watched The Amazing's review, and just the accuracy of that figure, the bulkiness of it, the way he can move for that bulkiness. That's something that Storm is just always so good about doing. Their figures tend to be a little bit bigger, but man, they can move better than maybe a Marvel Legends at time, you know? So, that's
especially
really
for
cool.
the size, real smooth.
Yeah, you being the arcade guy, it's like, if you didn't pick that up, I would be surprised, you know, because I know Capcom or Street Fighter.
Yeah, it goes good with right here with the Super Street Fighter.
Ooh, you know? That's nice. Those arcades are primo, man.
Hey, I almost have to, you know, I have to get anything that's arcade related. Any type of video game, I have to get Mortal Kombat. You know, a lot of individuals, a lot of other collectors will tag me. They're like, hey, you have to get, and then set them up next to one of your arcades. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm almost inclined, I'm obliged to go and get these Storm collectors, support them.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because a lot of the times, I know you did it during the enablers, you'll like put some of those figures next to your cabinets. Actually, that's a good segue. Let's promote Prime a little bit here. You're doing something really cool, which I think you're offering up a certain set of like 4 arcades to be available at all times, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's like 4 of the most popular ones. For the longest time that I've been doing this, collectors always request Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. That's all. It's always in demand, and those are my first 2 player caps that I always have up on my site. You guys see the description down there, primearcade.com. So Marvel vs. Capcom 1 is always available, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is always available. And then for a 4-player, it is the classic TMNT and X-Men, the X-Men cap. So I have an X-Men cap here, and these are always high in demand. You know, like who didn't live? I spent a lot of time at the local arcades, or I know my 7-Eleven on my way to school had two arcades. It was a Street Fighter and an X-Men one. So seeing those X-Men arcade, like that brings back memories of me and a bunch of my friends. Like nobody wanted to be Dazzler. Sometimes we would play the 6-player. Nobody wanted to be Dazzler, and it brings back so many fun memories. So those four arcade options are available right now. I'm looking to add additional ones like either Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. But I also have a fillable order request. So if there's something in there that, hey, I don't see or I haven't seen on my page, feel free to fill that out, and it shoots me an email, and then I usually get back to that request within 48 or 72 hours. Kind of depends on when they fill it out. But that's where the dialogue begins, and a lot of custom requests get processed through that. So if you don't see something on the site, you can always fill out that order form, and it shoots me a message saying like, hey, I'm interested in this, and then we can go from there.
You get a lot of custom requests too. Like I know you've done quite a few custom arcades or just very unique styles, like Leisure Suit Larry I saw was one. You did that Moon Knight for the Enablers giveaway.
Yep.
So if you guys have even if you go and look at Prime's page and you see one maybe that you don't see on the site, don't hesitate to ask him, because he'll probably be able to reproduce it again.
I've even had some personal requests where it's somebody sent me, they wanted a picture of I think it was their dog. And I don't know, their car, but it was I just want an arcade of something really personal because it's going to sit on my desk in my office. I was like, yeah, okay, hey. And they sent me all the pictures, which made it really easy because then they had full control of how the arcade was going to look. They said, hey, this is what I want for the marquee, which is the top part. They wanted their name, and they wanted a picture of themselves in the, it was really cool. It was really super personalized.
That's really cool.
That definitely was one of a kind, but man, this guy just loved it. Once he got it, he said, it was the focus of his office, and how everyone was just tripping out how he got it so personalized. So there's the sky's the limit sometimes. So it really depends on how flexible, how much of a customization you want.
That's awesome. But yeah, if you guys are interested, go to prime-arcade.com. He even offers free shipping on orders over $100. So let's say if you want to start your own arcade and grab 2 or 3 of the ones that he was just talking about that are always available, you get free shipping on that. So take advantage of it, and then you'll have an instant arcade in your collection. And I swear by these things. I've used them many, many times in shots. They're amazing. Don't hesitate. Go get one.
Yeah, okay. Man, I appreciate that. And with Jay's always been a huge supporter too. Just Jay Hernandez, and he did the review of Null and Venom, and he had told me, he's like, hey, I had told him my only thing is I need to have an arcade in the back, and I was like, man, that I'm so freaking honored and humbled. You didn't have to, but he's like, hey, my videos, they always have one of your arcades in the back, so that really blew me away. And that type of support, he has my loyalty for life, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you see the Prime name really spreading throughout. You probably have seen a Prime arcade in somebody's shot or in somebody's work or in somebody's review and not even realize it was a Prime arcade. I'm always like, hey, is that one of your arcades? I usually notice it just because me and Prime being friends like we are, but you've definitely, your presence has spread. You're wide known in the community, and there have maybe been some imitators out there that try to replicate, but I'm telling you, unless you go to the true source himself, you're not going to get the same product. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Cool. So going back into our top 10s, or I'm sorry, top 5s. Yeah. My number 4 is, damn it, I forgot to get it out, but it's the Mythic Legions Barbarian Builder.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah. So I got some of the Legion builders that they reissued, and the Barbarian Builder is one of them. And it's a huge,
this
it comes with
epic beard that was all braided, huh?
Yeah, it comes with 2 different head sculpts. It comes with enough parts to build basically 2 different figures. You're getting double torso and double armor pieces, 2 heads, tons of different attachments for the helmets. And I made my own custom figure out of it for the pop and swap contest that went on in the Mythic Legions Cabal. Just a really diverse figure, and you can really add those parts to kind of anything. So very, very cool release. It was one of my first kind of exposures into Mythic Legions, because I'm slowly getting more and more, and then I went a little crazy during Toylanta. But the Mythic Legions Barbarian Builder, if anybody is on the fence, that is a great one to start with. With a ton of stuff. Really, really worth the value, in my opinion.
Nice.
So that's my number 4. Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is going to be the NECA, the original superheroes, the Ming the Merciless. And so he comes in that green and yellow kind of color scheme. I see him, and I don't think Ming the Merciless. I think the Mandarin from Marvel. So I was like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
that would be a perfect Mandarin. Like, it's just
Mhm.
and NECA's been really killing it with a lot of their figures lately. The
Yep.
paint quality and the application is on there. There is no major QC issues. Um, from what I experienced with their figures, all like the last couple months, they've been perfect right out of the box. None have broken on me. The accessories are on point, and the price point is still similar. It's still what they've been for a couple years. They haven't
Yeah.
made any major increases, and the packaging is collector friendly. You can take them out of the box, put them back in. But when I saw that first wave, it was Flash Gordon, the Phantom, and Ming the Merciless. I was like, man. I ended up picking up Flash Gordon and Ming. I passed on Phantom only because the ones that were there, the boxes were all like crushed, and it looked like somebody had got into one of them and taken out the extra skull that he came with. So I was like, man, that freaking kills me. But the other two, I ended up picking up, and yeah, those made my number three. They're just those two I haven't been able to stop looking at or messing with since I got them.
Yeah. And you make a good point. Out of all the companies that we've seen, NECA seems to be the most consistent with their prices,
Yeah,
or at least maybe I just haven't noticed. But it doesn't seem like you got all the Universal monsters that are coming out that are all the same price. You've got
yeah,
the Defenders of the Earth stuff that you were just talking about.
yeah,
You've got like the TMNT Ultimates, and all of that is coming out at the exact same price point. So I think NECA is extremely consistent with not only the price, but their figures. The
yeah.
distribution seems to be getting a lot better.
Oh
Um,
yeah, major. You
NECA's
see a
been,
lot of the cartoon TMNT stuff, at Targets now. I've seen
yeah,
the 5-pack. I've seen a lot of the 2-packs. Even the exclusive April O'Neil like Channel
yeah, I
6
saw
one.
a
I've
lot
seen
of
it a
those.
handful of times.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's great just seeing it where it's not hidden. It's not like no one's fighting over for it. They're just it's an excess, and everyone who wants one can get one easily. So that's awesome.
yeah. That is awesome. Cool. So my number three. Ooh, this is tough. So I've got like, I don't know how I'm going to do this here because I've got a few that I want to talk about.
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
would say my number three is going to be a 2-pack, and it's the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh,
Two-pack.
yeah,
I got Batman in his workout pose, but yeah, the Carrie
yeah.
Kelly Batman 2-pack. Just really love this set. I wanted a Carrie Kelly figure for a long time. I got one from DC Direct that came
Uh
out that
huh.
was disappointing.
Yeah.
The fact that I've got her in the collection now is awesome. I've done a lot of shots with these figures since I got them, and I really like the head sculpt they put on for
Yeah.
Bruce.
It's good.
Uh, yeah, it works on all the other versions. So if you got a different TDKR Batman, this head sculpt works for it. But just for as big as this figure is, the articulation's insane. I
Mm-hmm.
love the cape. I love the colors. Just really awesome. It's one of my top Batmans in my collection for sure.
Dang it. Yeah, that was gonna be my next one too. So,
Oh, really?
um,
Do it,
yeah,
man. Do it.
because that Mafex, they're killing out on every character that they've been doing that I've been picking up.
Yeah.
The armored one, I guess I'll do mine for number two, is the armored Mafex Batman, and it's just like it's so crazy because I got the first Mafex, The Dark Knight Returns, which was just I think it was the black and gray one. I think that was the first one they did. And I was
Yep.
like, damn, I'm gonna have to get the blue and the battle damage one. I'm gonna have to get that one because the black and gray one's so much fun. The cape, everything, and it's consistent. Like the quality's there, the bulkiness. Um, After that, it was like I was hooked. I'm like, I gotta get the armored one. I got the 2-pack. Like I have all of them, and I freaking love every single one of them. And I think that only helps with the rest of the line and characters that Mayfix is doing, especially when it comes to like comic accuracy. Like anything that's comic related, I immediately jump on it. So I'm super excited for anything that Mayfix is dropping from either line, whether it's DC or Marvel. They are killing it this year.
I totally agree, man. And I'm so happy that you said the armored Batman because I was debating
Yeah,
on which one to talk about. Should I do
yeah,
the armored?
yeah. I got the armored.
Yeah, the armored is amazing for as bulky as a figure that is,
Yeah,
and the fact that it does have the armor, still can move really well. It's got the awesome head movement. I mean,
yeah,
I've done a couple of shots with it. It's just, yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, if anybody's interested in the Mafex comic line, whether it's Marvel or DC,
Yep.
they're killing it. It doesn't matter what it is, like the Gambit, the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm really pissed that I missed that Ben Reilly Spider-Man that they did a little while ago.
Oh, huh.
Like that would have been a good addition to my collection.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are like, "This Nate's a DC guy," but when it comes to Marvel, Spidey's my guy. I've got a lot of Spidey in my collection. So yeah,
Spidey's my guy right here.
Yeah, yeah. Spidey's my go-to Marvel guy. I need to do more shots of Spidey, but yeah, I agree. Mafex is absolutely killing it. Okay, so my number 2. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to say my number 2, speaking of Spidey, yet again, is and I haven't been able to mess with this a whole lot, but the Sentinel Peter V. Parker.
Oh, nice. Just clean, man.
Just really clean, smooth articulation. I mean, this thing moves like butter, man, and it's super solid too. That's the one thing I noticed about Miles when I had him, is that when you pose him, they hold the pose. They're not. They don't feel flimsy. You know, I can shake him around. He's not moving here, and it comes with swappable parts. He comes with a bunch of different heads. I got the one with the lion head, so I'll be using that in shots at some point. But just, I mean, the Sentinel stuff is just incredibly impressive. And I'm hoping they do a Spider-Gwen, because I do not have a Spider-Gwen and I missed the Mafex. I would rather have a Sentinel version. But yeah, this Peter B. Parker is extremely impressive. So don't sleep on Sentinel, guys. Some of the Spidey figures I own, for sure.
Nice. I'll follow one Spidey with another. For my number 1, the Mezco Spider-Man 2099.
Nice.
Check out the bulge. Check out the Spidey. Check out
I mean, he's got a bulge,
he's here. There's a reason he's number 1. Okay, like you can't get away. That's his spider sense is going off. He's like, who wants some? Who wants some?
I mean, I have that one too, and there's some stuff that's really impressive about that. The fact they match the head with the suit.
Yeah.
Something they've typically not done a great job of. If you remember like the DC old Mezco figures, the Flash head and the suit, just they don't coincide with each other. The head's very shiny, the suit's a little bit more matte. But that Spider-Man 2099 is like a spinning. I mean, they did such a good job matching it. The articulations there. They gave you 3 different head sculpts. I love how you can see his face underneath the mask. A bit more sculpting there going on. Yeah, really great figure. What do you? We'll get into this in a little bit, but there's another.
Yeah, I love how you can almost kind of tell that there's a face underneath the mask. That's such a killer job.
So cool, and I like the one where it's got it rolled up and he's screaming. It's really, really cool figure. Probably one of their best Spideys so far, in my opinion. From Mezco, for sure. Okay, my number 1. This is a character I've wanted to figure out for a very, very long time. Again, DC Direct gave us one, but very disappointing. Finally, Felix Toys came through and gave us the Felix Toys Rorschach. Just really impressive figure. Moves as better than I could have expected. Soft goods are Mezco quality. Just very, very
really good.
Figure. Yeah, I like it a lot. Comes with 3 different head sculpts. Comes with some great accessories. It's fun to use in shots. I only wish that they would do more. I want a comedian. I want a night owl. Give me the whole damn crew, because if it's going to come out like that, I am 100% on board. Really great figures. Just a lot of fun to have.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. So that was fun. We want to hear from you guys too. We've got a couple other categories we're going to run through real quick, but let us know what you guys think. Leave a comment. When you're hitting that like button, make sure you leave a comment below.
Yeah.
Tell us your top 5 figures of the year. We want to hear from you. We obviously value your feedback, and maybe that's something we could talk about on our next live.
Yeah, for sure.
Then,
what top figs are in everyone's collection,
Exactly. Yeah. Halfway through the year, what are you guys thinking is your favorite so far?
Yeah.
Okay. A couple other categories, and then we'll move on to our usual topics. one being, what's your biggest disappointment in a figure so far?
It's been a recent one because I'm trying to get back into Joy Toy. They have so much to offer, and the Warhammer is really, really enticing. I picked up one of these mechs recently, and I had opened it in the Enablers issue right here. So it's this like army colored Iron Wrecker. The only thing is that the leg pops off just the minute I start messing with it. It's already kind of and it comes right off. So that's the only thing that the fun factor just like went down the drain. And it's not broken. It's not. It's not a tight fit where the rest of the joints, and it continuously pops off. And I'm like, that sucks. That's just that totally
There's
kills.
nothing more frustrating.
I don't want to feel like I'm rolling the dice
with
when I'm buying a mech. And this is the first mech where I've had issues with it. My other two, they're fine. It's just this one, and it totally kills it because I was really digging the color. I was digging the accessories he came with, but that leg keeps falling off, and I can't even put them up on the shelf because after a while it'll just like pop off.
There's nothing more frustrating or a kill to the fun factor when you're messing with a figure and it just starts to fall apart. You're like, really? Like I can't enjoy this thing the way I want it to. I can't move it the way I want it to. Now I'm constantly worrying that while I'm messing with it, I'm going to pop the leg off. So I can see that being a big disappointment. And you're pretty big into Joy Toy.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll, get you a replacement or something. If you can.
Maybe send me a couple of mechs, Joy Toy.
Yeah. Send Brian some mechs for free, please.
Thank you.
My biggest disappointment, even though we just gave them praise for their comic line, but the Mafex Hush figure. It's disappointing for me for two reasons. Because it comes with a plastic coat, and that really kind of surprised me because we got the Mafex the Mafex Peter B. Parker, which came with a cloth coat.
Right.
We got the Mafex Gambit, which also came with a cloth coat. So
true.
This seems like just a cheap kind of, we're not going to do cloth coat. We're just going to give them a plastic coat. Yeah. And the worst part about it is that it goes into the arms. So if you wanted to, show him without his coat, you're going to have to you can't do it because the arms are all sculpted with the coat. So it really limits the use of the figure for me. Only having one look that I can utilize. I just don't understand why they wouldn't have gone with a cloth coat and given us the ability to have the uncoated version. I know in the comic it's very rare that he takes the coat off. I don't even know if he does take the coat off, so maybe that's why they did it. But the fact that he's Red Hood, I want to be able to use Red Hood without his coat on. It was disappointing for me. I had been made aware of it after seeing, I think, Unparalleled Universes review, and I just damn, I got that thing coming, and now I'm disappointed already.
So partial blame goes to Wade too. So we're mad at Mafex, and we're mad at Wade. So you heard it here
Wade's
first.
to blame. Yeah.
You heard it here first. Nate's mad at Wade. He's got beef with them, so give him the message.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Wade, for nothing. All right, last topic on this, and then we'll move into our usual topics.
Yeah.
Now that we did the biggest disappointment, let's talk about the biggest surprise this year.
Okay.
What
biggest
surprised you?
Biggest surprise was a brand that I knew, like, there was good stuff. I knew, I don't think I had experienced it for myself, and that's a big thing, like experiencing it firsthand, and that for me was Super 7. Like opening up these Thundercats, I was freaking pumped. The minute I got these two, I'm excited to get the rest of the wave, and I'm excited to get more of their product. And it's hard to really buy into the hype when you see like reviews or you see a lot of following when you haven't actually had a figure, because you're so used to, I think a lot of collectors, we set the standard, or we accept the standard for articulation based off Marvel Legend figures. Everything needs to be double jointed. There needs to be amazing ankle pivot, like all this stuff. But then when you start sampling other lines, and I think Super 7 is a great example where the aesthetics are there and the figure looks freaking amazing, and you can get them in the pose that, like, I don't need Jackalman or Monkey doing like a Spider-Man pose. You've never saw them like that. But I can get them in a running pose. I can get them in and they come with some killer accessories. So then you set aside the articulation, that you don't need double jointed elbows and double jointed everything, right? But then you look at what is it that I'm getting for my money, and you're looking at a $55 range. You're getting killer packaging. It's collector friendly, ton of accessories. Look at Marvel Legends where they're creeping right there, right? And a lot of times they're lacking in accessories or the quality. And these are like, you can just feel like it is some really nice quality. And to me, like that's what really surprised me, I guess, in a really good way. I knew Super 7 was good, but I was like, damn, I didn't know it was this good. Like now I need to have more of them, which is kind of a scary thing. But yeah, I gotta say Super 7 really like made me a huge fan of their work.
Yeah, you make a good point. With the rising price of Marvel Legends, spending 55 for a Super 7 figure is really not that bad compared to a Mafex that's $70 or a Mezco that's $100. And they look really great in hand. That's one thing that Super 7 nails every single time is the aesthetic, the classic feel. It's one of those lines like I see some negativity sometimes, like, oh, the double jointed elbows. Like, just don't get stuck on that. Don't judge a book by its cover. If you have not had a Super 7 figure in hand, I don't want to hear your opinion. I really don't, because like you need to look at it for yourself. You need to get it in hand. You need to mess with it, especially if you have a connection to that line. I think that's really what their kind of like their sweet spot is that the nostalgia factor for me. Like, the Playmates Turtles, getting a Super 7 figure, I'm like, damn, this is like my childhood right here. Like, this is the reason why I love
it. And if you recall that articulation, that was crap back then. They just had, it was 5 points.
Right. Yeah, he had bended elbows and his legs were always bent. Like compared to that, this is amazing. Like I'm so happy with it. Yeah. So it's one of those lines, like if you haven't collected Super 7, I don't want to hear your opinion on it because you need to get it in hand to speak intelligently about the line, because you don't know what you're missing out on.
And they photograph so well just because the sculpt's there, the paint's there, I haven't had any issues with paint or anything with them. So, and even when they've made mistakes from the first wave with Panthro and Jacqueline, they went ahead and corrected that and sent out the so-called mistakes, to those that ordered them. So
awesome. I think nailing the aesthetic is their primary goal, and they do that every single time. They're not trying to be something else. I love Super 7 for that.
What about yours?
My biggest surprise, and I wouldn't say it's a surprise because of the figure, because I knew the figure was going to be good. I think it was a surprise for the fact that I haven't collected one in a while. And then getting it in hand, it really impressed me. The Marvel Legends Symbiote Spider-Man.
Nice.
I haven't had a Marvel Legends in a while. I haven't collected one in a while. I've kind of fallen out of the line. But getting this one in hand and just messing with it, like the ab crunch here, like being able to rock him back and forth so easily. I'm not used to that on a Legends. And that ab crunch really just makes the figure for me. His head moves really well. Like he doesn't have the weird Marvel Legends, articulation where the head can't move. You have the double jointed elbows. Oops, shit. You have the double jointed legs. I guess the only thing, if I could wish for one thing, is just to make him pinless, just so I don't see the pins. But I don't have a black suit Spidey in my collection, so to get this in hand, I'm very, very excited for it. I think it really surprised me opening it up. I didn't want to open it because it was one of those carded retro figures. But once I brought myself to do it, I'm like, okay, I kind of wish I would have got more of these now. Because it's really impressive. It really kind of just, I might be a little more willing to pick up a Legends now because of getting this one in hand.
Nice.
Cool. Like we talked about, guys, let us know your biggest disappointments. Let us know your biggest surprises. Let us know your top fives. We want to hear from all of you. So hopefully you guys take the time out of your day just to give us a quick comment. Didn't have to be, rehearsed or anything. Just throw some stuff out there. It didn't have to be top five. Just throw us maybe your top figure.
There you
just
go.
want to know your opinions. Are they the same? Are they different? There's something that's going to surprise us. Cool. We'll move right into pre-orders. Speaking of Legends, there has been a lot of Legends news this week. So we'll talk about that maybe first.
Yeah,
let's dive
into the Hasbro.
So we got the Retro War Machine that was just announced. You've got the Marvel Legends Retro Collection Scale Sentinel.
which is 3.75, right? It's the 5.1.
Right.
He's not, he's 3.75. Is he 3.75?
Well, I don't think he is. So yeah, that's a good point. So
What is the description? How big is he? He's not. He's a little bit bigger, isn't he?
It says he's 3.75, but the figure is nearly 10 inches tall.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's in the scale, but the figure is almost 10
inches.
He's
10 inches. Okay. Okay.
He's taller than a 6-inch Marvel Legends.
Okay.
Which I think is really cool, especially for the Sentinel. And if I'm going to steal something that toying around said, Kevin, if you've got that HasLab Galactus, or I'm sorry, not Galactus,
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Yeah, the HasLab Sentinel.
This is great to make him a master mold, right?
Yep.
Because in this show he makes mini Sentinels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this would be a great way to kind of add him into that. So I think
it looks like it comes with the extra head, a couple heads, 2 heads.
Comes with a couple of heads, and if you kind of look closely, it looks like this has light up eyes or something.
Oh wow.
I don't know how they would do that in this size of figure, but I thought it was interesting that he's got little eyeballs there. I love the packaging on this too.
Yeah, the packaging's great. $25. What do you think?
$25.
Oh, it's 26.
He's about the same price as a Marvel Legends. So I mean, even though he's a smaller scale, he's still bigger. So I think because of the size, that's probably okay.
But like, if you have the HasLab Sentinel, you're gonna want at least 10 of those. So $260.
Yeah, just for a master mold shot, you're gonna want like a line of those just kind of down the way, so you can say like, okay, master mold's making a Sentinel army. I think it's really smart from Hasbro to release something like that amongst all these other figures. They know that that people are thinking to themselves like, okay, master mold, there we go. They're smart. What do you think about the War Machine?
The War Machine, I like. It's that retro packaging. I don't feel like I need that War Machine because I got that classic Rhodey one. I know the colors are more from the animated series, which that's awesome. I love the fact that they're going down this route. There's a couple of other characters. I'm hoping that they do like a Hawkeye from this animated series. There was another character, freaking drawing is a blank, but he was like the spirit. I don't know. He had an axe, Native American. Drawing a blank, but I remember having his figure, and then they had Spider-Woman in the black and white costume. There's just so many of Iron Man's Rogues Gallery too. Then you have like Whirlwind. You have the guy with the whip. Like I'm right now super bad at recalling all the freaking names, but I remember watching this cartoon, and I remember having all the Toy Biz figures. Like I had all the Iron Mans, and then they came with their funky like armors. It was like you had Scuba. I was about to say Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve.
Yeah, Scuba Steve Iron Man. You know,
give us a Scuba Steve figure, please.
But they had all these like gimmicks. You know, Iron Man with like all his funky armors, and it was this type of packaging, which I freaking love. This type of retro packaging. I wish they made them collector friendly. Like I could just pop them open and then put them back in, or display. I don't know. That's my love and hate with this packaging. I love it. I just hate to rip them open, and I don't want to just buy them and have them up on the wall.
I'm with you, man. Yeah. It was like when I was opening up that symbiote Spidey. I'm like, oh, I love it. I really don't have to throw this away. But I mean, in this one too, like I just remember seeing this in stores, like at a KB Toys, and it gives the Toy Biz vibes for sure.
Yeah. Really, and hopefully they do Mandarin, because Mandarin was part of that line too. So I'm pumped. I just, that price is, man, we're peaking at $30 now.
I know, $30 almost for that one. And then you get down to this Fire Lord, back to $25.99.
Yeah. I remember having him too. Like he was cool.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Fire Lord, so I know he's part of the Fantastic Four, and that's about where my knowledge goes.
And I thought he was a herald for Galactus. I thought he was a herald at one point. So that's why it's cool, because if you got that HasLab Galactus come in, pick up Fire Lord, like, hey, that's another one that you can add to the roster.
I can't help but imagine that his staff is like a broom that he lit on fire. I know that's probably not it at all, but that's immediately what I thought of when I saw his accessory. Now that I see that it's got 2 points, I'm like, okay, that's not the broom that I thought it was. Yeah, I don't know anything about this guy, so I'm gonna have to.
I remember having his figure, and I was pretty excited because he was exactly in that package, from the Toy Biz era. So I love that.
Yeah, and it
It's
matches
awesome.
the rest of the Fantastic Four they did
Yeah,
recently, right?
and
Same
hopefully
pack.
they do Mole Man, because Mole Man was part of that too.
That'd be
So
cool.
Mole Man, and then give us what I think everyone's hoping for is give us an updated Dragon Man. That'd be awesome.
That would be sweet.
Just calling it here, first time figure booth right here. Mole Man, Dragon
Your
Man.
booth said it first.
Yeah.
Spreading rumors and starting beef. And you got this toy series, Japanese Spider-Man, another one.
Yep.
I don't know anything about this. I know that there's a Japanese series where Spider-Man was kind of like a Power Ranger type guy. Yeah.
Flipping off walls and karate chopping.
Yeah, right. It kind of had like that Super Sentai type thing going on. He had like I think it was Zord or some kind of robot that would help him. I can't help but this, and after I'm messing with the symbiote, the ab crunch sticks out. Like, why would they do that when they just did something like this? Like, give me this kind of ab crunch. This is what I want.
But then, like, it's that same web that they've been using for the longest time, and you get 2 fists, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
That
kind of limited on this release, for sure. It's just weird how they do that, where they they have a better mold, but they choose an inferior mold.
I think that's that teen, like Spider-Man from No Way Home, and it's that Tom Holland buck. That's not the greatest buck.
Seems like a weird retraction. And then I think last but not least, or maybe least in some people's eyes, is the Falcon Winter Soldier Sharon Carter Infinity Ultron BAF. So this is a different wave.
Yep.
A sneak preview of what's to come for the newest What If wave that's going to include the Infinity Ultron.
Yeah.
But this isn't one of those where I'm like, oh yeah, I really wanted the Sharon Carter figure.
You can cross it off your list.
No. Somebody give me the BAF part, or I just
I might give you the BAF part once I find her for like $10. I'm on the fence with these type of characters because they do make great background characters. If you're really into toy photography, like I was always on the look for civilians. Like, where can I find? Because it was so hard just to find just regular. I need background people, or I need victims, or hostages, or I need something other than someone in a superhero costume that you can easily see. Oh, that's the good guy and that's the bad guy. Like, I need someone just in regular clothes. So I'm up for these. I'm not gonna pay $26. I'll pay $10.
Yeah.
Maybe 12. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's a discount figure for sure.
So I'll sell you the BAF parts for $15.
Okay. I mean,
plus shipping and pay and
okay. Now you're doing the plus shipping. You had me. I was like, man, that's actually not a bad deal considering. Yeah, you throw in the shipping, it's not no longer worth.
I'll give you a $4 flat rate shipping.
I'll just wait till it hits my Ross, man. All right, cool. So we did the Marvel Legends. Want to talk about the new Mezco Spidey? What do you think about this one?
I like it, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I almost instantly got it, but I'm like, I'm just gonna hold off. I'm gonna wait. I don't know why, but I think eventually I'm gonna pick it up eventually.
I hear what you mean, though. I still have not pre-ordered this. It's cool because it's very Steve Ditko-ish.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of the stuff that you're seeing in these images, like the parachute, just kind of goofy accessories. I like how you're seeing Greek Goblin again here. He's definitely going to be a future release, I think. But yeah, the parachute web. I love the camera that it comes with. Although, I'm not very impressed with how this looks. I mean, maybe
is it the shutter closing, or did he leave the lens or the cap on? And he's a horrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, why is that lens so small? I don't know. I think the head sculpt, I'm not a big fan of. I know it's
I'm not too crazy about that one. I don't know. It just I don't know. It doesn't. That one doesn't scream Peter Parker to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, how often would I actually use this head sculpt? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, very.
I don't know. That reminds me of, like, he'd be some kid from the Christmas Story or something.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe I can't really remember, but maybe he looked like that in the Ditko comics.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think you're right. It does. That's why it gave me like that Archie feeling, like really classic. Like I'm like, this is a Peter Parker I haven't seen in a really long time.
The light up eyes here is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Is that like a Spidey sense thing, or I don't really understand what that's
about?
for.
Yeah.
I like this shield accessory. That's cool. I like how he comes with a different base. That's very unique base. Something we haven't really seen from Mezco before. The backpack's a cool idea.
Yeah.
You got the classic web swinging. I like how they're throwing in other characters. This Doc Ock little hint is kind of cool. Are we actually going to see a Doc Ock? Excuse me.
Yeah.
They do this a lot where they'll show like a character, and you're like, oh, we're going to get that, and then we never get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're actually going to get a Doc Ock or not. It'd be cool if we do, but I wouldn't count on it too much. Oops.
So he does come with the regular Peter Parker head, right?
He does, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can get to that.
Oh, yeah, he does. Okay.
Yeah, so he's got the regular Peter Parker head, which still looks a little goofy. I mean, that's just not
too bad. Yeah.
Parker. Maybe it's more classic.
That's a lot of hands. You go handsy.
Yeah, lots of hands, lots of accessories. I mean, the hands, 18 interchangeable hands. That's pretty cool. And then you got.
Does he have a pointing hand?
Looks like he has a thumbs up hand. I don't see any pointing hand.
That would have been classic to have him giving him a pointing hand.
Maybe this one. Kind of looks a little pointy.
That we need to give him a pointy hand.
You got the parachute, you got the shield, the face.
Yeah, those are really cool. Damn it, you're selling me on this.
I mean, lots of accessories. You've got the Spidey sense, you got the mask, you get the camera with the strap, and then you've got some spider tracers and spider tracer receiver, which is kind of unique.
That's cool.
And then the spider symbol web base. Yeah.
The base /
I mean, all that for $120. That's not a bad deal, really. I mean,
all right, let's pre-order it. We're doing it live here, guys. Let's go. We're doing this.
Do the pre-order right now. Just add it to my cart. Bam,
use my points. I'll cover the shipping.
Yeah, I've used all my points already, so I'm out. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool release.
Yeah.
I'm still debating it. We'll see if I go through with that one.
All right.
Cool. So how about Plastic Confessions? What do you got this week?
Plastic Confessions is going to be pretty hefty because I just had BBTS ship my pile of loot, which is, surprise, majority is all Super 7. We got my Mumra coming in, Lino, Panthro, Tigra, and then the NECA Elvira is part of that set. So she's coming in as well. So I'm super excited to hopefully get a chance to unbox all of those.
That NECA Elvira looks great. I mean, really awesome looking figure. So I'll be interested to see that one. For me, I actually get a token this week. I think received anything new since the last time we talked. Like I said, I've been slowing down a bit. I hope I have something for our next episode. Otherwise, I'm going to get 2 tokens. But I've just been opening kind of the backlog a little bit. Stuff that I've had for a little while that I decided to open up. One of those was the Sentinel Peter B. Parker. So maybe that's my Plastic Confession for the week.
There you go.
I've had this for a while. Just haven't gotten around to opening it. Very, very awesome figure. I already talked about it.
Yeah, can't wait to see some pics.
Yeah, I need to get some Spidey shots going for sure. Cool. So Nasty Nate's Dirty Trick. This one, I don't think I've talked about this before, but it's just creating a lens flare in shots. Something that I try to do when I can. And when I say lens flare, it's like the sun. You can kind of see the flare of the sun. I like to use it sometimes when I've got like an opening in a scene. So like I've got that dial that I've used that I got at BBTS a few times. It's got this little hole. So the way that I do it is that I'll put a lume cube, something that's very strong and light, kind of like right in that area, shining directly at the lens. So I make it point directly at the camera, because that's what creates that lens flare, is that extreme kind of brightness. You don't want it to be like overpowering, so it's the only thing that you see. You want it to be something that kind of draws your attention in. And I usually put it like either to the side, or I just did it with that Mythic Legion shot that I did, where I've got like the lens flare looking like the sun's kind of coming down.
Okay.
Or I've done it before with that dial like I talked about. But yeah, you just point. So you get your your light, and you don't want the light to be seen really. I mean, you don't want to know it's a lume cube,
Yeah.
but you point it through something or you've got it kind of coming around something just enough,
Okay.
and you make it pretty bright. So I usually put it like 50-60% power, so it's really bright, and then I shine it directly at the camera. And a lot of people are like, well, that's going to flood your light. It actually doesn't do anything, to the light. It just creates this awesome lens flare, which can create some graininess, kind of create some depth in your shot. So if you guys wanted to try that out, it's definitely something I recommend. I definitely use a strong light, and don't use something too big. I like the Lume Cube 2.0s because they're small enough to where it's not a huge light, and it's something that I could focus. Like I could even put that little snoot on it, so I could really focus it at the lens if I wanted to.
Okay.
I think it's just a great thing to add into shots. It kind of, I try to do it as often as I can because I just really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you guys. It's something I like to try to do every once in a while. Last but certainly not least, let me pull it up. We have our Figure Aficionado. Where's he at? There he is. Okay.
Let's get him up in here. Drum roll.
Up in here. So Figure Aficionado for the week is none other than collectors.orbit. This is a guy that I've actually been following for quite some time. He's very consistent photographer. He puts out all kinds of work. He used to have, he still kind of does have like a signature style where he would, he used to do a lot of shots where he'd throw like water at the scene and then kind of do some extreme lighting. But lately he's been really switching it up, adding in different scenes. And I really like this shot he did of the
that's
Joker.
Cool. Yeah,
it's really awesome. He really built a nice background here, and that Joker just looks so intimidating.
Wow.
But he's got like just a very unique style. I really like this shot that he did of The Witcher.
Yeah, that's cool.
He's got a very diverse figure collection. He shoots all kinds of stuff. He loves Predator. I like how he mixed Predator with Star Wars here. Very cool idea. He does a lot of Alien. He did this Batman shot with Bane. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, and he's always kind of switching up the ideas. So if you have not discovered Collector's Orbit, check him out. This Witcher shot's really freaking cool. I love that spider thing. Just awesome work. Lots of talent. You can tell he's been doing it for a while, and he's also posting behind the scenes a lot. So if you're curious how he's doing these, he's got a lot of behind the scenes, so you can learn. I've learned from him too. Go give him a follow.
Drop some flames.
Yeah, super talented guy. Go drop a follow, drop some likes. You'll be surprised with his work. He does a lot of great work.
That's awesome.
So shout out to you, David. You are a very talented photographer, man. And if you guys want to see your own Figure Aficionado, if there's something, and we say this all the time, it's rare that we get suggestions, but if you guys can give us some suggestions, I don't want it to be just me or Prime's picks. We'd love to get some community picks and feature them. Just drop those comments. Like I said, when you are going to hit the like button on this episode, make sure you leave the comment. Tell us your top 5 figures. Tell us your biggest disappointment, your biggest surprise. Big shout out to all you guys that came out and listened to our last episode. After being off for a while, I wasn't sure how it was going to go. I wasn't sure what kind of traction we get, but we got 115 views as of now. We got tons of comments. A lot of you guys really came out strong with the comments. Loki, he was saying, "This is why I love your show. You guys talk about real life topics and collector's perspective. You get really philosophical. It gives me things to think about. I love hearing stuff like that. So please, be positive.
Thanks, Loki.
Yeah, we really appreciate those comments. We read all of them. Make sure you go and leave a comment on this one. And if you're not subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Go subscribe to the Figure Booth.
Come on
YouTube. Check out thefigurebooth.com. Get your own Figure Booth merch. We just dropped that new shirt, which is spreading rumors and starting beef. Duke it out. We start the beef and
duke it out.
Yeah, exactly. Duke it out with your own fellow collectors. And last but not least, like we talked about earlier, go check out prime-arcade.com. He's got his own shirt on there. You can get shirts on our website at figurebooth.com. And like we talked about, he's got 4 arcades always available. Or if you want your own custom one, use the form, fill it out, and he'll hook you up. Yeah, thank you guys for all your support. We really appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And that's gonna do it for another episode of the Figure Booth, guys. As always, I've been your host. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all under Prime to the First.
And I have been Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, occasionally on TikTok, but very rarely. But yeah, thank you for tuning in for another episode. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next week.